What is up, Not So Pro Football Talk? We are back again with another episode of Bats. Yes, that's
Ooh.
correct. Last week we all did pretty good, including some of the guys that are in our league for the sleeper one. Those individuals all did good as well. Everybody's pretty neck and neck. So I really like that. Last week, I guess, was maybe an easy week to call since everybody's kind of keeping up with us. So this week might be a little bit harder. But let's go ahead and just get right into this right here. I'm going to log in while I tell everybody how great we did. But yeah, Reed, we tied at 10-6. So it's pretty good if you ask me, starting
Yeah.
off at week one. Uh, AJ had just a little bit bump above us. He was 11-5.
Jeez.
Um, I know in our sleeper apps for you in the Discord and in the sleeper league with us, we got 10 and 9 wins respectively. But it's just because BetUS has a little bit of some different takes here, a little bit of half points, I guess, difference in some areas. So that's why we have an extra win here on BetUS. But I know AJ has 10 wins on sleeper and we have 9. So we're just gonna keep it like that. BetUS is 10-6 for me and you, Reed, and 11-5 for AJ. And for
All
those
right.
of you asking, AJ's not here, but he did give us his picks, so I am going to be saying them as we're picking. But Thursday
All
night
right.
football, Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins are favored by 2. I think just straight up here, the Bills are not the same team. I know they've kept up well with the Dolphins pretty often, and they're pretty split on the wins here. But I think Miami Dolphins are still the same team, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the Miami Dolphins. Reed, while I pull up AJ's picks, what do you think here?
I would agree with you. I think the Dolphins -2, I feel really good about. The Dolphins did struggle in that first half, which I was starting to get worried about last week. But I feel good with them -2 on a Thursday night football game.
Nice, nice. All right. AJ has the Bills
Ooh.
selected here. So we are already differentiating here, and hopefully we'll catch up to AJ just based off of this game.
There we
But
go.
we'll pick the Miami Dolphins here as we roll into the next game. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Baltimore Ravens. This is a humongous spread. But with the way the Las Vegas Raiders played last week, they lost by, I believe, 16, 17 points, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, and the Ravens, lost by a little bit. Last second type of thing. They couldn't tie it up with Kansas City Chiefs in week one. So I think I'm just going to go playing out here with the Baltimore Ravens. I think this is a big spread, but I think it's attainable by them because they really want to win.
Yeah, I feel good with that pick with the Ravens. It is a large spread. There's a chance they don't cover if there's a last second touchdown or something like that. But I think the Ravens are a dominant team. I think they can definitely win this by a lot.
Not bad, not bad. Alrighty, so we'll move on to the next game here. AJ has the Ravens as well, but we'll go to the Chargers and Panthers. I think this one's an obvious pick here. Um, I'm gonna go with the Chargers straight out here at 6.5 spread. I think that's super attainable against the Panthers. The Panthers still need a lot to work on.
Yeah, I think the spread should honestly be larger for this game with how terrible the Panthers looked last week. I think 6.5 for Chargers is totally attainable. I'm good with that. 6.5 for Chargers.
Awesome, awesome. AJ has the Chargers as well. So again, another clean sweep for us in this game. But next is the New Orleans Saints versus the Cowboys. And Reed, you and I kind of doubted the Dallas Cowboys a little bit last
Yes,
week.
we did.
And we that's why we're not tied with AJ at 11-5, right?
Yep.
But other than that, I think I'm gonna go with the Cowboys this time. With this
Oh,
big of a spread, I still think this is gonna be a great game. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch it up really fast. I'm gonna go with the Saints.
all right.
I don't really care about the Cowboys, but I was just looking at AJ's pick here. He has the Dallas Cowboys, and I think I'm just gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go with the Saints. So, what do you think about this game, though?
Yeah, so I'm taking the Saints here. I'm surprised by the spread. I know the Dallas Cowboys looked good this past week, but the Saints also looked really good this past week against, I forget who they were playing, but the Saints played very, very well. That offense was firing on all cylinders. It looks like Derek Carr might actually be the guy over there. So I think they have a little momentum coming into this game as well. I think it stays close. I got the Cowboys winning the game, but I think it's within 3 points.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this one's going to be a super close one. The way the Saints played last week, I think they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulders. But as I said earlier, AJ picked the Dallas Cowboys. So again, that's another different game for us with AJ. But on to the next one here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are firing on all cylinders, and the Detroit Lions, who had a little bit of a hiccup type of game. They couldn't really get everybody involved, but it's still a pretty good game here. But the spread for the Lions is very high at an 8-point spread. I don't know if I like that with Tampa Bay playing the way they are. They just looked very, very good, even though it was against the Commanders. But I still think Detroit's going to have a little bit of some hiccups in week 2 after some preparation. The only thing that could tell me otherwise is that this is in Detroit, I believe. So it's going to be hard for the Buccaneers to keep it going in Detroit. But I'm just going to do it. Give me the Bucs.
Yeah, I think the spread is way too large here. I do believe the Lions will win this game, but don't get me wrong. I definitely think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can totally come into Michigan and steal a game. I think it's totally possible they can win this game. +8, I feel like that's way too big of a spread. I feel very comfortable taking the Bucs.
Yeah, it's such a high spread, and I just think that's the reason why. Well, also in this one, AJ's picking the Buccaneers, so this is a game we're all agreeing on, even though I'm pretty sure we all think the Detroit Lions are winning, just like Reed said. It's just too big of a spread, so I think Tampa Bay Bucks might not win, but they'll cover for sure. But we'll move on to this next game, the Indianapolis Colts versus the Packers. Reed, give us your insight here, please.
So this is our home opener after playing last week in Brazil. Obviously, everybody knows Jordan Love did get injured for that game, and he is considered to be out for this game, but he has not been ruled out. Matt LaFleur has very much left the door open for Jordan Love playing. Now, do I think Jordan Love's going to play this week? Absolutely not. But I love the thought of it. Most likely, Malik Willis will start this game, and we have no idea what our offense is going to look like with Malik Willis because he didn't play in preseason because he wasn't even on the team about 2 weeks ago. So we just traded for him about 2 weeks ago. He's brand new to this team. I have no idea if the Packers are going to be able to stay in this game. It's really going to come down to our defense and Jeff Hafley to really show who they are, not show that embarrassment that happened against the Eagles last week. We need to stay in this game a long time. Confuse Anthony Richardson. Don't let him get the long bomb on us. Don't let him beat us in the back. That's how he's gonna beat us. Keep everything in front of us. Let him get those short and intermediate throws and stop the long bombs. And I think we can keep this game close enough for our offense just to generate enough points and win. But I like it +3.5 or just +3. I think Green Bay is a good choice here at home. Taking +3, even with a backup quarterback.
Not bad. So AJ also has the Packers here, but I'm the oddball out. I'm going to go with the Colts here. I have Anthony Richardson in my fantasy, and I think he's going to play pretty well. I think the majority of it, of course, is because Jordan Love's not playing. That's the only thing. Malik Willis, I don't really know if he can really keep up with the offense of the Colts here, especially with that run game. But hopefully he can. I hope this is a good game, and I hope it's not something where it's like you just turn off the TV or turn it to a different game. But we'll see. I still think the Packers can be very competitive without Jordan Love at the starting position. But we'll move on to this next one here, the Cleveland Browns versus the Jaguars. The Browns just, for lack of a better term, I mean, they soiled the bed, man. It was bad. Like nothing was going for them defensively, offensively. Special teams was horrible. And Jacksonville Jaguars, they had the step up on the Miami Dolphins in the beginning of the first half, but they let it slip through their hands. So again, it's another thing for the Jaguars, just always kind of not having the will to finish, in my opinion. And I think this game they will. I think the Cleveland Browns are still going to be playing from behind. They're not going to have everything together. So I just think I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here just because of the fact that I think the Browns aren't going to play good.
The Cleveland Browns will figure things out, but it will not be this week in week 2. I think it's a away game. They're going to be struggling still. Deshaun Watson is not going to look like the guy that they traded for this week. I think in week 3, maybe 4, etc., that they start figuring it out and winning games, but they lose here in Jacksonville.
Not bad. AJ also has Jacksonville selected here. I don't know if I said with the Green Bay Packers, but AJ also has the Green Bay Packers just for that sake. But here, I mean, obviously we don't have AJ to call this next game for the 49ers. So it's the 49ers versus the Vikings. The 49ers are favored by 6 here. I think this is pretty reasonable. I think it's similar to the last game with the Jets. I think the Jets was like -4 or something in 49ers' favor, but this is pretty similar. I think I'm just going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if the Vikings are going to be able to keep up because they don't have a great defense, and I think their offense is going to get stopped by the 49ers defense more times than the latter. So give me the Niners.
Give me the Niners. I'm surprised this is not -9 in my opinion. The Niners look dominant. They're going to win this game by a whole lot, in my opinion. This is the easiest. This is my lock of the week.
Ooh, nice. I like it. I like it. Well, we'll move on to my game here. I love that it's back-to-back. Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. This one's going to be a shootout, in my opinion. These are 2 of the top 10 defenses in the league right now, as of like some stats that people are putting out. So this one might be a really low-scoring game, as you can see with the over-under here. Even BetUS doesn't think that this is going to be high-scoring. So the spread here is at -3.5 in my team's favor. I think that's pretty attainable. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks here. I think we will get this spread.
Very nice. I'm going to go Patriots here. Patriots, I knew they were going to be better than a lot of people were saying. They were better than what I thought they were going to be. I think they're with that defense and just being able to manage the game. I think they can definitely do pretty well here. They don't win this game, but they keep it close. I feel 3.5 is just right where they'll probably be. I'm going to say Patriots.
Awesome. Well, AJ has the Seahawks winning here, so I'm going to select the Seahawks. We'll move on to this game right here. I think this one will be pretty interesting with the way that the Titans won last week, the Jets lost, and the Jets looked, honestly, like not who the Jets were expected to be. So for lack of a better term, the Jets just didn't play up to standards with Aaron Rodgers. He looked like he was lost out there as well. But I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here. I think I'm going to go with the Jets to win. I just don't think the Titans will be able to keep up. I think Aaron Rodgers and company are going to get this together at least enough to win by 4 points here. So give me the Jets against the 3.5 spread.
Second week in a row, Jets on the road. I do think they figured it out here against Tennessee Titans, a defense that's not as good as the obvious San Fran defense is. I think they're going to start figuring things out. It's not going to be full force yet, but they are going to be able to put up more points than they did this past Monday. Give me the Jets.
Awesome. AJ also has the Jets here, so it's a clean sweep for us. And we'll go into the last 12 o'clock game for us Central Timers. It's going to be a stinky one, in my opinion. It's the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. I think here I'm just going to go with the Commanders. I don't really think that I can trust in the Giants. The spread here is in favor of Washington by 2. So I think they're able to do that. I think they'll win by at least a field goal. So give me the Commanders.
Give me the Commanders. Daniel Jones is poo-poo.
Pretty much, man.
That's all I got to say, really.
Well, I love it. We're all in favor of the Commanders, AJ as well. So that'll do it for the slate of the 12 o'clock games for us. So we'll go into the 3:05 period here. The LA Rams versus the Cardinals. This one was extremely interesting to me because for some reason BetUS and maybe even a few other betting apps think that the Arizona Cardinals are in favor to win here by 1 against the Rams. I understand that Puka's out, but the way that the Rams competed with the Lions last week, even though the Lions didn't look all that well, I don't think the Cardinals looked all that well in week one either. So I think this one's pretty easy. I feel like this is my lock of the game or lock of the week. I'm going to go with the Rams here to cover this. I think they're going to win this game.
Yeah, I feel good about taking Rams as well. Give me the Rams.
Awesome.
They did not play. They didn't play up to their par either, but I believe in Matthew Stafford way more than Kyler Murray.
Same as well. And AJ thinks the same thing. He also picked the Rams to win here. So we'll move on to this next game. But I just thought that was one of the most surprising spreads I've seen all day. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This one, on paper and with the tenure that both of these teams have had when they played each other, this one would look like a very interesting game. Kansas City Chiefs here are favored by 5.5. And that's interesting to me because all their games have pretty much been within 3 points within maybe 4 out of the 5 last games that they've had. So I think the Cincinnati Bengals are just too far deep. I think I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to cover here. I don't know if the Bengals can get out of this rut. It's every single year they start off super slow, and it takes until about week 4 or week 5 for them to actually look like, a good team. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, Vince. We've seen this song and dance before. We know who the Bengals are in the beginning of the season. It'll be week 4, week 5, just like you said, when they start actually playing real football. They lose this game. Give me the Chiefs.
Awesome, man. AJ has the same thing here. He's got the Chiefs locked in. So we'll move into the last game here in this time period. Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Broncos. Pittsburgh didn't look all that great on offense with Justin Fields out there. A lot of field goals. But same for the Denver Broncos. A lot of field goals and a lot of help from their defense when they played the Seahawks. Pittsburgh Steelers here are favored by 2.5. I think I'm cool with that. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is good enough to keep the Broncos down, even though I think their offense is pretty good in comparison to Pittsburgh. I just think Pittsburgh's going to take this one for some reason. I don't know. Give me the Steelers.
I don't care if it's Fields. I don't care if it's Dangerous Wilson. Give me the Steelers, man. I like them so much better than the Broncos. The Steelers will remain on top of that division. They're going to continue winning game after game. This is a good team, in my opinion. The Steelers are a good team.
Awesome. AJ also picked the Steelers here. So, again, another clean sweep here with our selections. But we'll go to the Sunday night football game. I mean, I think this one on paper looks like it's going to be a good one, but the spread says different. We have the Chicago Bears coming into Houston, playing the Houston Texans. Houston Texans favored by 6. I think I'm going to go with the 6 here. I don't think with the way the offense looked with the Bears that it was all that, not so much surprising, but I just expected maybe a tiny bit more from that offense with all the stars that they have. But if they can't do that last week, I don't think they're going to be able to do it in week 2. So give me the Houston Texans. I think they cover this spread of 6.
Yeah. Can I get a second lock of the week, Vince? Is that allowed?
Do it, man. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, this is the second lock of the week. That Bears offense looked atrocious with Caleb Williams leading them. The only way they stay in this game is their defense and special teams pulls off the craziness they did in this last game. That's the only way they're able to score points. That's the only way they're going to be able to do it again. I don't care how many weapons you put it on an offense, you still need a quarterback, which Caleb Williams is not it yet. Bears thought they were going to win this year. Ain't going to be in the beginning of the year. Caleb Williams got a lot to figure out. Way too much to fit in this game. Give me the Texans -6.
Awesome. All right. So we all selected the Texans. AJ is also in favor of this one. So we'll move into the last game of the week on Monday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons versus the Philadelphia Eagles here. I think this one is going to be a blowout on Monday Night Football. I don't think the Falcons are going to get it under control. They had an abysmal week 1, and I don't think they're going to come out of the rafters and have a good week 2 against a good team in the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles are favored by 6.5 here. They finally get to come back and play at home, just like the Packers will. But I think the Eagles take this one home. It's a big spread for me, but with the Falcons and how I just really don't believe in them at all, I think the Eagles are going to cover this.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles as well, Vince. I don't know if we're on the same wavelength today or what, but I don't think we picked a single game against each other. Give me the Eagles in week 2. Falcons were not playing good at all this past week, and that Eagles offense, they got some weapons out there. And I learned that on this past Friday. Eagles offense should be taken seriously. I think the Kirk Cousins offense may be able to do something against that defense, though. But give me the Eagles this week.
Yeah, definitely. And Reed, I think you're correct. I think the only 2 games that we actually didn't pick together are our respective teams, which is the Seahawks game and the Packers
Fair
game.
enough.
So that's kind of expected, We always got to disagree somewhere. But yeah, that'll do it for week 2, guys. It's a little bit of a shorter video. We've finally gotten used to these teams and how they are. So we'll move into these weeks a little bit easier. Hopefully we go 16 for 16, right, Reed? I mean, we're going to be maybe 2 games off each other, but we'll see who goes perfect. Obviously, it's not going to be AJ, right?
Me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll see if one of us overtakes AJ. See if we can go into first place into week 2. But other than that, Reed, you got anything to say about week 2 and the spreads here?
No, I think it's been another great week of football. A lot of good matchups. Not as good as week 1 matchups, but we got some good matchups this week. I'm very excited for this week.
Awesome. Well, for those of you out there, hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with everything we're doing as with lives and videos that we're putting out. Also, hit the link down in the bottom there for our Discord. Make sure you join. We talk football all day, every single week, 365 days a year. So get in there, talk with us, and get to know us. We want to get to know you too. And all we really want to do is just enjoy football. So if you do too, make sure you follow everything NSP. And as we always say, guys, keep on grinding.